What if I told you that every single morning, before your feet even touch the cold floor beside your bed, before you reach for your phone to check your bank balance, before you allow the weight of your financial reality to press down upon your chest, there exists a sacred moment, a divine window, where a single whispered phrase could change everything? What if the distance between you and the wealth you have prayed for, the abundance you have dreamed of in secret, the financial freedom that seems to belong only to others, what if that distance is not measured in years of hard labor, not counted in lucky breaks, not determined by the circumstances of your birth, but is measured only in the words you speak to your own subconscious mind in that quiet moment before the world rushes in? I ask you now, my friend, and I want you to consider this question as though your very life depends upon the answer, because in ways you are only beginning to understand, it truly does. Have you ever stopped to realize that the whisper you offer to your own mind before you look at your bank account, before you open that bill, before you face the evidence of your current financial state, that whisper is not merely a thought, but a command? It is a seed planted in the infinite garden of your subconscious mind, and that garden does not know how to do anything but grow whatever you plant within it. The Bible tells us clearly, death and life are in the power of the tongue. You have been using this power every single day, but I must ask you, have you been using it to create miracles, or have you been using it to perpetuate the very lack you wish to escape? Stay with me now. Do not turn away. What you are about to learn is not theory. It is not wishful thinking. It is the law, the immutable, eternal, never-failing law of your own subconscious mind, and it has been waiting your entire life for you to discover it. If this message speaks to your spirit, if you feel something stirring within you right now, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and press the like button. Leave a comment below and tell me, what is the one financial miracle you are ready to receive? Speak it now. Write it down. Let this be the moment everything begins to change. There is a power within you right now that is greater than any circumstance you face, mightier than any debt that burdens you, more creative than any financial problem that has kept you awake at night. This power does not sleep. It does not take vacations. It has never once failed to respond to the impressions you give it. And yet, for most of your life, you have been using this power against yourself without even knowing it. I speak to you now as one who has witnessed thousands upon thousands of men and women transform their financial lives completely, not through luck, not through inheritance, not through circumstances that favored them, but through the deliberate, conscious, scientific application of a principle that has existed since the beginning of time. This principle is spoken of in every sacred text. It whispers through every great fortune ever built. It is the silent force behind every rags to riches story you have ever heard. And it begins with what you whisper to yourself before you look at your bank account. You see, the moment before you check your finances is one of the most powerful moments of your entire day. It is a threshold. It is a doorway. In that moment, your subconscious mind is listening with absolute attention, waiting to receive your command. And whatever you feel, whatever you expect, whatever you whisper to yourself in that sacred instant, that is the instruction you are giving to the infinite intelligence within you. If you approach your bank account with fear, you are planting fear. If you approach it with dread, you are planting dread. If you look at your finances with the expectation of lack, you are commanding your subconscious mind to create more lack. The subconscious does not argue. It does not evaluate. It does not say, "This is a foolish instruction, I will ignore it." No. It accepts every impression as a command and immediately goes to work to bring that impression into your physical experience. This is why the Bible tells us, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Notice carefully, it does not say, "As a man thinketh in his head." It says in his heart. The heart represents the subconscious mind, the feeling nature, the deeper mind that controls everything. You may think thoughts of wealth in your conscious mind all day long, but if deep in your heart, in your subconscious feeling, you believe yourself to be poor, limited, unworthy of abundance, then poverty is what you shall experience. But here is the miracle, you can change this. You can change it today. You can change it in this very moment. For the subconscious mind is not fixed. It is not permanent. It is like soft wax, ready to receive whatever impression you choose to make upon it. And once you learn how to impress it correctly with the idea of wealth, with the feeling of abundance, with the deep inner knowing that you are a child of the infinite and therefore heir to all the riches of the universe, then wealth must come to you, for it is the law. Let me tell you about a woman who came to me many years ago. She was in what seemed to be a hopeless financial situation. Her husband had left her. Her business had failed. She was facing eviction from her home. She had 3 children depending upon her, and her bank account showed a balance of $17. $17 between her family and complete destitution. She sat in my office with tears streaming down her face, and she said to me, "Dr. Murphy, I have tried everything. I have worked harder than anyone I know. I have prayed until my knees ached. And still, nothing changes. What am I doing wrong?" I looked at her with great compassion, for I had seen this situation many times before. And I asked her a simple question: when you pray for money, what do you feel? She paused. She thought about it. And then she answered honestly, "I feel desperate. I feel afraid. I feel like I am begging God to save me." And there it was. There was the problem. She was praying, yes, but she was praying with the feeling of lack, the feeling of desperation, the feeling of being a beggar before the throne of the infinite. And the subconscious mind was receiving that feeling as its command. It was not the words of her prayer that mattered, it was the feeling behind the words. And the feeling she was transmitting was the feeling of poverty, of lack, of fear. I said to her, "You must change your prayer. You must change what you whisper to your own mind. Before you check your bank account tomorrow morning, before you look at those numbers that frighten you, I want you to sit quietly for 5 minutes and whisper these words to yourself. Infinite Spirit opens the way for my immediate supply. All that I need is now flowing to me in avalanches of abundance. I give thanks that I am now receiving." She looked at me with doubt in her eyes. She said, "But Dr. Murphy, that is not true. I only have $17. How can I say such things when they are not real?" I explained to her what I now explain to you. You are not lying to yourself. You are speaking to the subconscious mind in the language it understands, the language of faith, the language of expectation, the language of feeling. The subconscious does not know the difference between what is happening in the outside world and what you are feeling and imagining within. To your deeper mind, a thought held with feeling is as real as a so-called fact. And it is upon this truth that all transformation is built. I told her about the great teacher Neville Goddard, a man whose understanding of imagination and its creative power was perhaps unmatched in his time. Neville taught that imagination is the very creative force of God working through man, and that whatever you can imagine and feel to be true must eventually express itself in your outer world. He said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not hope for it. Not beg for it. Assume it. Enter into the feeling of already having what you desire." This is exactly what I was asking this woman to do. When she whispered those words of abundance before checking her bank account, she was not lying, she was assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. She was impressing her subconscious mind with the feeling of supply rather than the feeling of lack. She followed my instructions. Every morning for 30 days, she whispered those words to herself before she looked at her financial reality. At first, she felt foolish. At first, her conscious mind argued with her, telling her this was nonsense. But she persisted. She kept planting the seeds of abundance in the garden of her subconscious. And then, the miracles began. On the 7th day, she received a phone call from a relative she had not spoken to in years. This relative had just sold a piece of property and felt moved, for reasons she could not explain, to send this woman a check for $5,000. On the 14th day, a former business associate contacted her about an opportunity she had never considered. Within 3 weeks, she was earning more in a single month than she had previously earned in a year. Within 90 days, she had paid off all her debts, secured her home, and established a savings account that gave her true financial peace for the first time in her adult life. Was this luck? Was this coincidence? Was this some magical force outside of herself reaching down to rescue her? No, my friend. This was the law. This was the subconscious mind accepting her new impression and rearranging the circumstances of her life to match that impression. This was the creative power of the deeper mind bringing forth into physical reality what she had planted in the invisible realm of thought and feeling. Florence Scovel Shinn, that wonderful teacher of spiritual truth, understood this principle deeply. She wrote, "Your word is your wand. The words you speak create your destiny." And she was absolutely correct. The words you whisper to yourself are not merely sounds, they are creative forces. They are commands given to an intelligence within you that has infinite ways of bringing your commands into manifestation. Think of your subconscious mind as you would think of a faithful servant who has no will of its own, but who has access to resources, connections, and creative solutions that your conscious mind cannot even imagine. This servant does exactly what you tell it to do. If you tell it, "I am poor, I am struggling, I never have enough," it goes to work immediately to bring you poverty, struggle, and insufficiency. But if you tell it, "I am wealthy, I am prosperous, I am a magnet for abundance," it goes to work with equal faithfulness to bring you wealth, prosperity, and overflowing supply. The problem is that most people have been programming their subconscious minds for poverty their entire lives without realizing it. They were taught to believe in lack. They were surrounded by people who believed in lack. They heard phrases like money doesn't grow on trees, and we can't afford that, and rich people are greedy, until these ideas became embedded in their subconscious as truths. And then they wonder why, no matter how hard they work, abundance seems to elude them. Let me say this clearly, your subconscious mind is not working against you. It is working for you with absolute perfection. But it is working to produce the results of whatever programs have been installed within it. If poverty programs are running, poverty is what you will experience. If abundance programs are running, abundance is what you will experience. The great psychologist Carl Jung understood this perhaps better than any scientist of his era. He spoke of the unconscious mind as a vast storehouse of images, beliefs, and patterns that control far more of our behavior and experience than our conscious thoughts. He recognized that we cannot change our lives by conscious effort alone. We must reach the deeper levels of the mind where the true patterns are stored. And this is precisely why the moment before you check your bank account is so powerful. In that moment, you have access to your deeper mind. In that moment, your guard is down, your conscious resistance is low, and you can speak directly to the subconscious in a way that penetrates deeply. What you whisper in that moment goes straight to the creative center of your being. Napoleon Hill, who spent a lifetime studying the wealthy and successful, came to understand that there was a secret behind all lasting prosperity. He called it the subconscious mind's ability to pick up and act upon thoughts that are mixed with faith and emotion. He wrote about the importance of autosuggestion, the practice of deliberately feeding your mind with positive, constructive, success-oriented thoughts until they become part of your very nature. This is not self-deception, my friend. This is self-direction. You are not pretending to be wealthy when you are not. You are directing your subconscious mind toward wealth so that it can begin the creative process of bringing wealth into your experience. Let me give you another example. A businessman came to see me who had been struggling for years. He had a good product, a solid work ethic, and plenty of knowledge about his industry. Yet no matter what he did, his business remained stagnant. Competitors seemed to attract customers effortlessly, while he fought for every sale. When I asked him to describe his morning routine, he told me that the first thing he did each day was check his bank account and his business reports. And when he saw numbers that disappointed him, he would feel a wave of discouragement and anxiety wash over him. He would tell himself, "Here we go again. Another day of struggle. I just can't seem to get ahead." Do you see what he was doing? Every single morning, before his day even began, he was programming his subconscious mind for struggle. He was giving it the impression of failure, and his faithful inner servant was responding by creating more experiences of failure. I told him to change his routine. I told him that before he checked any numbers at all, he should sit quietly and affirm with deep feeling, "Today, infinite intelligence guides me to perfect success. Customers are drawn to my business by divine attraction. I am prosperous in all that I do." At first, he resisted. He told me this felt like lying to himself. But I explained that he was not lying, he was leading. He was leading his subconscious mind in the direction he wanted to go rather than allowing it to follow the direction of his fears. By the end of 1 year, his business had tripled. He had hired additional staff. He had moved into larger premises. And he told me, with wonder in his voice, that the only thing he had changed was what he whispered to himself before checking his bank account. The Bible says, "It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom." Consider these words. It is not God's reluctance that keeps abundance from you. It is not divine punishment. It is not karma. It is not destiny. The infinite intelligence that created this universe wants you to be prosperous. It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. The only thing that blocks the flow of abundance into your life is your own mental acceptance of lack, your own subconscious belief in limitation, your own whispered words of fear and doubt. Change the whisper, and you change your life. There is a scientific reason why this works. Your subconscious mind operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. While you sleep, it continues to work. While you go about your daily activities, it continues to process the instructions you have given it. And it has access to resources, connections, and creative solutions that your conscious mind cannot fathom. When you impress your subconscious with the idea of abundance, it begins to scan your environment for opportunities to fulfill that idea. It guides you to take actions you might not have otherwise taken. It attracts into your experience people and circumstances that harmonize with your new expectation. This is not mystical nonsense. This is the natural function of a mind that is designed to create your physical reality according to your mental patterns. The prophet Isaiah understood this when he wrote, "Before they call, I will answer." The infinite intelligence within you is already prepared to give you everything you need. The answer already exists. The supply is already present in the invisible realm of mind. Your task is simply to open the door through your expectation, your faith, your feeling of receptivity. And that door opens with a whisper. What do you say to yourself when you look at your bills? What do you feel when you think about your financial future? What are you expecting as you go through your day? These are not idle questions. These are the questions that determine your destiny. You must understand that you are never neutral. In every moment, you are either impressing your subconscious with thoughts of abundance or thoughts of lack. There is no middle ground. The feeling you hold habitually is the feeling that creates your reality. This is why consistency is so important. One positive whisper in the morning will not overcome years of negative programming. You must be persistent. You must plant the seeds of abundance again and again until they take root so deeply that they become your natural state of mind. You must guard the doorway of your subconscious as a watchman guards a treasure, allowing in only those thoughts and feelings that harmonize with your desire for prosperity. The wealth you seek is not far from you. It is not in some distant future. It is not reserved for the lucky few. It is here, now, waiting for you to claim it through the proper use of your mind. The kingdom of heaven is within you, and within that kingdom lies every form of abundance you could ever desire. But you must believe this. You must feel this. You must accept this in the depths of your being before it can manifest in the world of form. The invisible must become visible, and it does so through the medium of your subconscious mind. I want you to try something right now. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, I want you to pause for a moment. Close your eyes if you can do so safely. Take a deep breath. And whisper to yourself, either aloud or silently, these words: I am a child of the infinite. Wealth flows to me from all directions. I am prosperous and blessed. Feel these words. Do not merely say them, feel them. Imagine what it would feel like to have complete financial freedom. Imagine the relief, the joy, the peace of having more than enough for every need and every desire. Let that feeling fill your entire being. This is how you plant seeds of abundance in your subconscious mind. This is how you program your inner servant for prosperity. This is how you open the channels through which the universe can pour its blessings into your life. And remember, you must do this before you check your bank account. You must set the tone before you encounter the evidence of your current situation. For if you check your bank account first and see numbers that discourage you, and then try to affirm abundance, you will be fighting an uphill battle. The fear and disappointment will already have impressed themselves upon your subconscious. But if you affirm first, if you establish the feeling of abundance before you look at any evidence, you approach your finances from a position of strength rather than weakness. You see the numbers as temporary conditions rather than permanent realities. You know, deep in your soul, that circumstances are about to change because you have changed the cause, and the cause is always in your mind. This is the law that cannot fail. This is the principle that has enriched countless thousands. This is the secret that the wealthy have always known, whether they could articulate it or not. And now it is yours. Use it. Practice it. Make it the foundation of your financial life. And watch as miracles begin to unfold in ways you never thought possible. For within you, right now, at this very moment, is a power that knows no limitation, recognizes no impossibility, and is ready, willing, and infinitely able to bring you into complete and perfect abundance. That power is your subconscious mind, connected to the infinite intelligence of the universe, waiting only for your command. Give it the command of abundance, and abundance shall be yours. The question I would now have you consider is this: what have you been accepting as true about yourself and your relationship to money? For whatever you have accepted in the deep places of your mind, that is precisely what you are experiencing in your outer world. There are no exceptions to this law. There cannot be exceptions, for the law is as exact as the law of mathematics, as unfailing as the law of gravity, as certain as the rising of the sun. You see, the subconscious mind does not create your reality according to what you wish were true, or what you hope might become true, or what you occasionally think about when you are in a good mood. No, my friend. The subconscious mind creates your reality according to what you have accepted as true at the deepest level of your being. And this acceptance is not made through words alone, it is made through feeling, through conviction, through that quiet inner knowing that goes beyond all argument. This is why two people can repeat the same affirmation and get entirely different results. One person says, "I am wealthy," and feels the truth of it resonating in every cell of their body. They know it. They accept it. They rest in it. And wealth flows to them in miraculous ways. Another person says the same words, I am wealthy, but deep within, they feel that they are lying to themselves. They feel poor. They feel unworthy. They feel that such abundance could never really be theirs. And despite their words, poverty continues to manifest in their experience. The difference is not in the words. The difference is in the feeling behind the words. The difference is in what has been truly accepted by the subconscious mind. I recall a gentleman who attended my lectures many years ago. He was a man of considerable education, a professional who had studied at the finest universities and held advanced degrees in his field. Yet despite his intelligence and his credentials, he could never seem to accumulate wealth. Money came to him and immediately flowed away again, like water through a sieve. He was perpetually in debt, perpetually struggling, perpetually wondering why success seemed to favor others but not him. After one of my lectures, he approached me and said, Dr. Murphy, I have been affirming wealth for 3 years. I say my affirmations every morning and every night. I have read all the books. I understand the principles intellectually. But nothing has changed. What am I doing wrong? I asked him to tell me about his childhood. I asked him what messages he had received about money when he was young. And as he began to speak, the problem became immediately clear. His father had been a minister who believed that wealth was sinful. Throughout his childhood, this man had heard, again and again, that money was the root of all evil, that rich people were corrupt, that it was easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. These ideas had been impressed upon his subconscious mind thousands of times during his most impressionable years. And now, as an adult, though his conscious mind desired wealth, his subconscious mind was programmed to reject it. Every time money began to accumulate, his deeper mind would sabotage the situation, finding ways to lose the money, to spend it unwisely, to drive it away. For to his subconscious, wealth was dangerous. Wealth was sinful. Wealth was a threat to his spiritual well-being. This is what I mean when I say that you must examine what you have truly accepted about money. The beliefs you absorbed in childhood, the ideas you accepted from your parents, your teachers, your community, your religious training, these are often still running in your subconscious mind, controlling your financial destiny without your conscious awareness. But here is the liberating truth: these programs can be changed. They can be overwritten. They can be replaced with new beliefs that serve your highest good and align with the truth of your divine inheritance. For you are not bound by the past. You are not a prisoner of your conditioning. You are a living expression of the infinite, and you have the power to reprogram your subconscious mind at any moment you choose. The first step is awareness. You must become conscious of the beliefs that have been running beneath the surface. Listen to yourself. Pay attention to what you say about money, what you feel about money, what you automatically think when financial matters arise. These automatic responses reveal your subconscious programming. Do you find yourself saying things like, I can't afford that? Do you feel a tightness in your chest when bills arrive? Do you automatically assume that unexpected expenses will cause you hardship? These are symptoms of a subconscious mind that has been programmed for lack. And until you change these underlying programs, no amount of conscious effort will bring you lasting prosperity. The second step is to reject false beliefs and replace them with truth. Consider the belief that money is evil. This is not what the Bible actually teaches. The scripture says that the love of money is the root of all evil, not money itself. Money is simply a symbol of exchange, a tool that can be used for good or for ill. In the hands of a good person, money becomes a blessing to many. It feeds the hungry, clothes the naked, builds hospitals and schools, supports the arts and sciences, and spreads light throughout the world. To reject money as evil is to reject one of the means by which you can do good in the world. It is to limit your ability to bless others. It is to deny the abundance that your Creator has prepared for you. The truth is that God is infinite abundance. Look at nature and observe the lavish generosity of the universe. Millions of stars in the sky. Countless grains of sand on the shore. Endless varieties of flowers, trees, creatures, colors, and forms. The universe does not operate on a principle of scarcity. It operates on a principle of unlimited plenty. And you, as a child of this infinite universe, are meant to participate in that plenty. Jesus himself said, I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. He did not say he came to bring you poverty, struggle, and lack. He said he came to bring you abundant life. And abundant life includes abundant supply. When you align your subconscious mind with this truth, when you accept at the deepest level that abundance is your divine birthright, you remove the inner blocks that have been preventing prosperity from flowing into your experience. You open the channels. You clear the way. And the riches of the infinite begin to pour into your life in ways that often seem miraculous. Let me tell you about another technique that has proven extraordinarily effective for those seeking to manifest wealth. This technique comes from understanding the relationship between imagination and reality, and it was explained with particular clarity by my dear friend Neville Goddard. Neville taught that imagination is not mere fantasy. Imagination is the creative power of God working in and through human consciousness. Whatever you can imagine and feel to be true, you are actually creating on the inner planes. And what is created on the inner planes must eventually express itself on the outer plane of physical reality. The technique is this: before you fall asleep at night, create a mental scene that implies your financial wish has been fulfilled. Do not imagine yourself wanting money or hoping for money or even receiving money. Instead, imagine a scene that would naturally occur after you already have the money you desire. For example, if you desire to be free from debt, imagine yourself looking at a bank statement that shows a large positive balance. See the numbers clearly. Feel the relief, the joy, the freedom of knowing that you owe nothing to anyone. Feel yourself breathing easily, sleeping peacefully, living without financial anxiety. Or if you desire a specific amount of money for a particular purpose, imagine a scene that would happen after that money has come. Imagine yourself holding the keys to the new home you have purchased. Imagine yourself driving the car you have bought. Imagine yourself on the vacation you have taken. Make the scene vivid. Make it real. And most importantly, feel the feelings that you would feel if this scene were actually happening. Do this every night as you drift off to sleep. The reason this timing is so powerful is that the moments before sleep are when the conscious mind relaxes its grip and the subconscious mind becomes highly receptive. Whatever you are imagining and feeling as you fall asleep goes directly into the subconscious with minimal resistance. It is planted deeply, and the subconscious immediately begins working to bring it into physical manifestation. Neville called this technique living in the end. You do not live in the middle of the process, wondering and hoping and waiting. You live in the end, in the fulfillment, in the completion of your desire. You assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. I have witnessed countless men and women use this technique to transform their financial situations in ways that defied all logical explanation. Bank errors in their favor. Unexpected inheritances from relatives they barely knew. Business opportunities appearing from nowhere. Promotions and raises that came without asking. The subconscious mind, once properly impressed with the feeling of abundance, has infinite ways of bringing that abundance into physical form. But you must be consistent. You must be persistent. You cannot plant the seed of abundance at night and then dig it up in the morning with doubt and fear. You must nurture the seed. You must protect it. You must continue to water it with faith and expectancy until it breaks through the soil and becomes visible in your outer world. Florence Scovel Shinn understood the importance of words in this process. She taught that every word you speak is a form of prayer, a command given to the universe. She said, "Your word is your wand," and she meant this quite literally. The words you habitually use are constantly shaping your reality, constantly giving instructions to your subconscious mind, constantly creating the circumstances of your life. Consider, then, the words you use when speaking about money. Do you say, "I can't afford it"? Change this to, "I choose to spend my money differently"? Do you say, "Money is hard to come by"? Change this to, "Money flows to me easily and abundantly"? Do you say, "I'll never get ahead"? Change this to, "I am advancing every day toward complete financial freedom"? These are not mere word games. These are deliberate changes in the instructions you are giving to your subconscious mind. Every time you catch yourself using words of lack and limitation, stop. Consciously replace them with words of abundance and possibility. Over time, this practice will reprogram your habitual thinking, and your outer circumstances will begin to reflect your new inner state. I must also speak to you about the importance of gratitude in the manifestation of wealth. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It is a frequency that aligns you with abundance. It is a feeling that opens your heart to receive more of what you appreciate. The Bible instructs us, "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God." Notice that it does not say, "Give thanks only when things are going well." It says, "In everything give thanks." This means that even when your bank account is low, even when bills are pressing upon you, even when it seems that there is nothing to be grateful for, in that very moment, you must find something to appreciate and give thanks for it. Why? Because gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. It shifts your vibration from scarcity to abundance. It tells your subconscious mind that you are already blessed, already provided for, already in the flow of infinite supply. And the subconscious responds by bringing you more things to be grateful for. Begin each day by giving thanks for the abundance you already have. Give thanks for the roof over your head, for the food on your table, for the air you breathe, for the body that serves you, for the mind that thinks, for the heart that loves. Give thanks for the money you do have, no matter how small the amount. Give thanks for the job you have, even if it is not your ideal job. Give thanks for every channel through which supply has come to you. And then, give thanks in advance for the abundance that is on its way. This is an act of faith. This is a declaration of trust in the infinite. When you give thanks for what has not yet appeared in physical form, you are telling your subconscious mind that you believe it is coming, that you expect it, that you are ready to receive it. And this expectation accelerates the manifestation process tremendously. I have known people who kept what they called a gratitude journal, in which they wrote down things they were thankful for every morning and every night. Without exception, these people experienced an increase in their prosperity. Some experienced dramatic increases that could only be called miraculous. The practice of gratitude had opened their minds to abundance, and abundance had flowed in. Now let me address something that trips up many sincere seekers on the path to wealth. It is the question of how. When you set a financial goal, when you decide that you want a certain amount of money or a certain level of prosperity, your conscious mind immediately wants to know how it will happen. It wants to figure out the steps. It wants to see the path. And when it cannot see the path, it begins to doubt that the goal is possible. But I tell you now, and I want you to hear this deeply, the how is not your business. Your business is the what and the why. Your business is to get clear about what you want and why you want it. Your business is to impress this desire upon your subconscious mind with feeling and faith. But the how, the method, the means, the channels through which your good will come, that is the business of the infinite intelligence within you. Your subconscious mind is connected to infinite intelligence. It has access to knowledge, resources, and possibilities that your conscious mind cannot even imagine. When you try to figure out the how, you are actually limiting the ways in which your good can come to you. You are saying to the universe, it has to happen this way, when the universe may have a much better way in mind. This is what is meant by the phrase, let go and let God. You do your part, you get clear, you impress your desire, you maintain your faith, you take inspired action when it comes, and then you let go of the need to control the process. You trust that the infinite intelligence knows how to bring your good to you in the perfect way and at the perfect time. Jesus taught this when he said, Your Father knoweth what things ye have need of, before ye ask him. The infinite already knows what you need. It already has the solution to your financial problems. It already has the means of your prosperity prepared. Your task is simply to align yourself with that solution through your faith, your expectation, and your feeling of already having received. I think of a woman who came to me in great distress about her financial situation. She was a widow with a small pension that barely covered her basic expenses. She wanted more money to live comfortably, to travel, to give to her grandchildren, but she could not see any possible way for more money to come. She had no marketable skills, no business ideas, no wealthy relatives. From her conscious mind's perspective, her situation was hopeless. I told her not to worry about how the money would come. I told her simply to affirm, infinite intelligence provides for me abundantly. I am richly compensated by the universe for being who I am. I told her to feel the reality of abundant supply every morning and every night, and to give thanks for the prosperity that was on its way. She followed my instructions, though she confessed that it felt almost foolish to expect money when she could see no source from which it could come. But she persisted in her faith. Now, could her conscious mind have figured out that this inheritance was coming? Could she have planned for it? Could she have made it happen through her own efforts? Of course not. She did not even know this man was still alive. But the infinite intelligence knew. And when she aligned herself with abundance through her faith and expectation, the infinite intelligence arranged for the inheritance to come to her at exactly the right time. This is how the law works. This is how miracles happen. They seem miraculous only because the conscious mind cannot see the invisible workings of the subconscious and the infinite intelligence to which it is connected. But in truth, there are no miracles, there is only law. When you apply the law correctly, the results are guaranteed. Napoleon Hill, in his landmark study of successful individuals, found that one of the key traits shared by all of them was what he called definiteness of purpose. They knew exactly what they wanted. They had a clear, specific, definite goal. And they held that goal in their minds with unwavering focus until it became reality. Vagueness is the enemy of manifestation. If you say, I want more money, you have not given your subconscious mind a clear target. More money could mean $1 more than you have now. It could mean $1,000. It could mean $1 million. Your subconscious does not know what to create because you have not told it clearly. Instead, get specific. Decide exactly how much money you want to manifest. Decide by when you want it. Decide what you will do with it when it comes. Write this down. Read it every day. Impress it upon your subconscious mind repeatedly until it becomes part of your mental fabric. And as you impress this specific goal upon your subconscious, remember to do so with feeling. The subconscious mind is more responsive to feeling than to mere thought. When you think of your goal, feel the joy of achieving it. Feel the security of having it. Feel the freedom it will bring. These feelings are the fuel that drives the manifestation process. Now let me share with you a truth that many people overlook in their pursuit of wealth. It is this: you must feel worthy of receiving. Many people unconsciously believe that they do not deserve prosperity. They carry guilt from past mistakes. They carry shame from perceived failures. They carry a deep-seated belief that they are not good enough to receive the abundance of the universe. These feelings of unworthiness create a powerful block in the subconscious mind. Even when abundance tries to come to you, your subconscious pushes it away because it does not believe you deserve it. This is why some people seem to sabotage their own success, why they snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, why they cannot seem to hold on to money no matter how much of it comes their way. If you recognize this pattern in yourself, you must address it directly. You must speak to your subconscious mind and declare your worthiness. Say to yourself, I am a beloved child of the infinite. I am worthy of all good. I deserve prosperity and abundance. I open myself to receive all the blessings that are meant for me. Say these words until you feel them. Say them until they sink deep into your subconscious. Say them until the old feelings of unworthiness are washed away and replaced by a new feeling of deserving and receptivity. You are worthy. You were born worthy. Your worth is not determined by your bank account, your job title, your educational achievements, or anyone else's opinion of you. Your worth is inherent. It was established the moment you were created. And you have every right to claim the abundance that is your divine inheritance. The Psalm tells us, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Consider the absolute confidence of this statement. Not "I might not want" or "I hope I shall not want." It says, "I shall not want." This is the confidence you must develop. This is the inner knowing you must cultivate. When you truly know that the Lord is your shepherd, that infinite intelligence is guiding and providing for you, you lose all fear about money. You know that you shall not want. You know that all your needs will be met. And in this knowing, you create the conditions for abundance to flow to you freely. Fear is the great destroyer of prosperity. When you fear lack, you attract lack. When you worry about money, you create the conditions for financial problems. When you hoard and grasp and clutch at every dollar, you send a message to the universe that you believe in scarcity, and the universe responds by giving you experiences that match your belief. But when you live in faith, when you give generously, when you trust that there is always more where that came from, you send a message to the universe that you believe in abundance. And the universe responds by pouring abundance into your life from expected and unexpected sources alike. This is why the biblical teaching on tithing is so powerful. When you give 10% of your income to a source that spiritually nourishes you, you are making a powerful statement of faith. You are declaring that you believe in the infinite supply of the universe. You are opening a channel through which abundance can flow. The act of giving activates the law of circulation, and what you give returns to you multiplied many times over. I have seen this law work without exception. Those who give generously receive generously. Those who are stingy find that their own supply dries up. It is not that God punishes the stingy or rewards the generous. It is simply that generosity aligns you with the flow of abundance, while stinginess blocks that flow. Give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is the promise of Scripture, and it is backed by the unfailing law of the subconscious mind. As you continue on this journey to wealth, remember that patience is essential. The subconscious mind does not always work according to your conscious timeline. Sometimes manifestation happens quickly, almost instantly. Other times, there is a period of waiting during which the invisible work is being done, the circumstances are being arranged, the people are being moved into position. During this waiting period, your faith will be tested. Doubts will arise. The evidence of your senses will seem to contradict your inner conviction. This is the critical time when many people give up. They say, "It's not working," and they abandon their practice. And in doing so, they pull up the very seeds they had planted, preventing them from ever coming to fruition. Do not be like them. Hold firm. Keep the faith. Continue to whisper abundance to your subconscious mind every morning before you check your bank account. Continue to feel wealthy, to think wealthy, to act wealthy in your own mind. The manifestation will come. It must come. It is law. And when it comes, receive it with joy and gratitude. Do not question it. Do not wonder if you deserve it. Do not fear that it will be taken away. Receive it as the natural result of the seeds you have planted, as the harvest of your faith, as the gift of an infinite universe that delights in giving to its children. For you are a child of the infinite. You are an heir to all the riches of the kingdom. You have within you, right now, the power to transform your financial life completely. That power is your subconscious mind, and it is waiting for your command. Give it the command of abundance. Give it the feeling of wealth. Give it the image of prosperity. And watch as miracles unfold in your life, one after another, proving once and for all that the power within you is greater than any circumstance you will ever face. The wealth you seek is seeking you. Open yourself to receive it now. There is a secret that I must share with you now, a secret that lies at the very heart of all successful manifestation. It is a secret that the great teachers of all ages have understood, though they have expressed it in different ways and through different traditions. This secret is the principle of mental acceptance, the art of accepting your good as already done, already accomplished, already yours, before any physical evidence appears. You see, the subconscious mind operates in the eternal now. It does not recognize past or future as your conscious mind does. To the subconscious, everything is happening in this present moment. When you pray for something to happen in the future, when you hope that someday you will be wealthy, when you affirm that money is coming to you at some distant time, you are actually pushing your good away from you. You are telling your subconscious mind to keep your desire in the future, and since the subconscious creates according to your mental patterns, in the future is where it stays. But when you accept your good as already accomplished, when you feel wealthy right now, when you give thanks as though your bank account is already overflowing, you bring your desire into the present moment where manifestation can occur. You collapse the distance between wanting and having. You align yourself with the reality you wish to experience. This is what Jesus meant when he said, "Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." Notice the tense of the verb. He did not say believe that you will receive them someday. He said believe that ye receive them, present tense. In the moment of prayer, in the moment of asking, you must believe that you are receiving. You must feel the reality of having right now. This is perhaps the most challenging aspect of the practice for many people. The conscious mind looks around and sees lack. It sees the unpaid bills. It sees the meager bank balance. It sees the evidence of financial struggle. And it says, how can I believe I am wealthy when clearly I am not? How can I feel abundant when scarcity is staring me in the face? But I tell you, this is precisely the test of faith. Faith is not belief in the evidence of the senses. Faith is belief in the unseen, the invisible, the reality that exists in mind before it appears in form. As the scripture says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When you can feel wealthy in the midst of apparent poverty, when you can maintain the inner vision of abundance regardless of outer circumstances, when you can walk through the valley of financial shadow and fear no evil because you know that infinite supply is with you, that is when the power is released. That is when the subconscious mind receives the impression so deeply that nothing can prevent its manifestation. That is when the invisible begins its journey toward the visible. I remember a man who demonstrated this principle with remarkable clarity. He was an inventor, a brilliant man with many valuable ideas, but he had struggled for years to bring any of them to market. He had no capital, no connections, no resources. From a practical standpoint, his situation was impossible. He came to me seeking guidance, and I taught him the principle of mental acceptance. I told him to choose one of his inventions, the one he believed had the greatest potential, and to accept, in the depths of his mind, that this invention was already successful. I told him to see it on store shelves. To imagine people using it and benefiting from it. To feel the satisfaction of having brought something valuable into the world. And most importantly, to feel the financial reward of this success as a present reality. He practiced this every day. Every morning, before he did anything else, he spent 20 minutes in this imaginal act. He saw his invention in the hands of happy customers. He saw himself receiving royalty checks. He felt the joy, the pride, the financial security of being a successful inventor. He did this consistently, persistently, faithfully. Now, let me tell you what happened. Within 6 months, through a series of events that he could never have planned or predicted, he met a businessman at a social gathering, a gathering he almost did not attend. This businessman happened to be looking for exactly the kind of product this inventor had created. They struck up a conversation, and within weeks, they had formed a partnership. The businessman provided the capital and connections. The inventor provided the innovation and expertise. Within 2 years, the product was on the market and generating substantial revenue for both of them. Was this coincidence? Was it luck? Was it mere chance that brought these two men together at exactly the right moment? I tell you, no. This was the law in action. The inventor's mental acceptance had impressed his subconscious mind with the reality of success. And the subconscious, with its infinite connections to all minds and all circumstances, had arranged for the meeting that would make that success possible. This is what Neville Goddard called the bridge of incidents. When you impress your subconscious with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it constructs a bridge of events, encounters, and circumstances that leads you from where you are to where you want to be. You do not need to know in advance what these incidents will be. You do not need to plan them or force them. You simply walk across the bridge as it appears before you, one step at a time, trusting that each step is bringing you closer to your goal. Your responsibility is to maintain the vision, to keep the feeling, to persist in your mental acceptance. The subconscious takes care of the rest. But here is where many people falter. They practice for a few days or a few weeks, and when immediate results do not appear, they lose faith. They say, "This doesn't work for me." They return to their old patterns of thinking, their habitual feelings of lack and limitation. And in doing so, they abort the manifestation process just when it was beginning to take form in the invisible realm. Understand this: every thought of abundance you think, every feeling of wealth you cultivate, every mental acceptance of prosperity you practice, all of these are building something in the realm of mind. They are constructing your new financial reality on the inner planes. And just as a building under construction cannot be seen from a distance until it rises above ground level, your manifestation cannot be seen until it has been sufficiently built in the invisible realm. The delay is not a sign that the law is not working. The delay is simply the time required for the invisible construction to be completed. If you dig up a seed to see if it is growing, you kill it. If you abandon your mental work because results have not yet appeared, you destroy the manifestation you were creating. Persistence is power. Patience is wisdom. Faith is victory. The great Florence Scovel Shinn told a story that has always stayed with me. A woman came to her seeking help with a financial need. She needed a substantial sum of money within a very short time. Florence gave her an affirmation to use and told her to repeat it with faith and feeling. The woman practiced diligently. She repeated the affirmation morning and night. She felt the reality of the money being provided. But as the deadline approached, no money had appeared. The day before the money was due, she was in despair. She said to Florence, "It hasn't worked. The money hasn't come." Florence replied, "The game isn't over until it's over. Keep your faith strong. The answer can come at any moment." That very evening, the woman received an unexpected telephone call. A debt that had been owed to her family for over a decade, a debt she had completely forgotten about, a debt she had given up on ever collecting, was suddenly being repaid. The person who owed the debt had experienced a financial windfall and felt compelled to honor his old obligation. The amount was exactly what she needed. If she had given up on that final day, if she had abandoned her faith hours before the manifestation, she would have missed the miracle. But because she persisted, because she maintained her inner conviction even when outer circumstances seemed hopeless, the answer came. Let this be a lesson to you. Never give up. Never lose faith. The very moment you feel like quitting may be the moment before your breakthrough. Hold on. Keep believing. Keep feeling. Keep whispering abundance to your subconscious mind. The answer is coming. The manifestation is forming. The miracle is on its way. I wish to speak now about a subtle but important aspect of wealth manifestation, the question of deserving. As I mentioned earlier, many people carry an unconscious belief that they do not deserve prosperity. But I want to go deeper into this now, because it is one of the most common blocks to financial abundance. You were not born believing you were unworthy. Watch any infant, and you will see that they have no hesitation in demanding what they need. They cry for food, for comfort, for attention, with complete confidence that their needs deserve to be met. This is the natural state of the human being, a state of knowing that you are worthy of having your needs fulfilled. But over time, through the process of socialization, many people lose this innate sense of worthiness. They are criticized and punished. They are told they are bad or wrong. They internalize messages of shame and guilt. They begin to believe that they must earn love, earn acceptance, earn prosperity through struggle and sacrifice. These beliefs are lies. They are not the truth of your being. They are mental programs that were installed without your conscious consent, often by people who were themselves operating from wounded and limited consciousness. The truth is that you deserve abundance simply because you exist. You do not have to earn your right to prosper. You do not have to prove yourself worthy. Worthiness is your birthright as a child of the infinite. And the moment you truly accept this truth, the blocks to your prosperity begin to dissolve. Carl Jung, that profound explorer of the human psyche, understood that the unconscious contains not only personal material but also what he called the collective unconscious, a vast repository of images, patterns, and beliefs shared by all humanity. Many of the limiting beliefs about money and worthiness come not just from our personal history but from this collective layer of mind. They are cultural beliefs, ancestral beliefs, beliefs that have been passed down through generations. But Jung also understood that consciousness has the power to transform the unconscious. By becoming aware of these patterns, by shining the light of consciousness upon them, you begin to dissolve their power over you. You are not a helpless victim of your conditioning. You are a conscious being with the power to choose new beliefs, to install new programs, to create a new relationship with money and abundance. Every time you affirm your worthiness, you are doing this work. Every time you declare that you deserve prosperity, you are weakening the old patterns and strengthening the new ones. Every time you feel yourself receiving abundance with joy and gratitude, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind for wealth. Let me give you an affirmation to use specifically for this purpose. Say to yourself, slowly and with feeling, I am worthy of infinite abundance. The universe delights in prospering me. I open myself completely to receive all the good that is meant for me. I deserve wealth, and wealth flows to me now. Say this affirmation every day. Say it when you wake up. Say it before you sleep. Say it whenever feelings of unworthiness arise. Let it sink deep into your subconscious until you know, beyond all doubt, that you are deserving of every blessing the universe has to offer. Now I must address another important principle, the law of non-resistance. This is a law that few people understand, yet it is absolutely essential for the manifestation of wealth. Resistance is the act of pushing against what is. It is the mental and emotional stance of fighting, struggling, complaining, resenting. When you resist your current financial situation, when you hate your debts, when you rage against your lack, you are actually giving power to the very thing you want to change. You are focusing your mental energy on what you do not want, and thereby strengthening it in your experience. The law of non-resistance teaches us to accept what is without resistance, while simultaneously holding the vision of what we want to create. This is not passive resignation. This is not giving up. This is strategic wisdom that understands how the subconscious mind works. When you stop resisting your current circumstances, you stop giving them power. When you accept them peacefully, without emotional charge, you free up your mental energy to focus on your desired outcome. You become calm, clear, and centered, exactly the state of mind from which manifestation happens most easily. Jesus taught this principle when he said, "Resist not evil." He was not telling us to lie down before injustice or to allow ourselves to be harmed. He was teaching a mental and spiritual principle, that resistance gives power to what we resist, while non-resistance allows it to dissolve. Florence Scovel Shinn captured this beautifully when she wrote, "What you resist persists, and what you look at disappears." This is the paradox of the mind. When you fight against something, you keep it in your experience. When you calmly look at it without resistance, and then turn your attention to what you prefer, the unwanted thing begins to fade away. Apply this to your financial life. Stop fighting against your debts. Stop hating your bills. Stop resisting your current level of income. Accept it all peacefully, knowing that it is only a temporary condition, a reflection of old thinking that is now being changed. Then turn your attention fully to your vision of abundance. Feel wealthy. Think wealthy. Act from a consciousness of wealth. And watch as your outer circumstances begin to shift to match your inner state. There is a story I have told many times because it so perfectly illustrates the power of non-resistance. A young man came to me in a state of great agitation. He had been passed over for a promotion that he believed he deserved. A colleague with less experience and, in his view, less talent had been given the position. He was consumed with resentment, anger, and bitterness. I listened to his story, and then I told him something he did not want to hear. I said, "Your resentment is poisoning you, not the person you resent. And as long as you hold on to this bitterness, you are blocking your own advancement. You must let it go." He protested. He argued. He insisted that his anger was justified. And from a certain perspective, perhaps it was. But I was not concerned with justification. I was concerned with results. And I knew that his resistance to what had happened was keeping him stuck in exactly the situation he wanted to escape. I taught him the practice of blessing. I told him to bless the colleague who had received the promotion. To wish him well. To genuinely hope for his success. Not because the colleague necessarily deserved it, but because the act of blessing would free his own mind from the prison of resentment. This was extremely difficult for him. At first, the words of blessing felt false and forced. But he persisted, because he trusted the principle. Every day, he would say, I bless this man and wish him well. I release all resentment. I am free, and my own good is coming to me now. Within 3 months, something remarkable happened. The company announced a new position, a position that had not existed before, that was actually more suited to his talents than the one he had lost. He was offered this position without even applying for it. His salary was higher, his responsibilities were more aligned with his interests, and his path forward was clearer than it had ever been. Had he continued to resist and resent, he would never have been in the mental state to receive this opportunity. His energy would have been consumed by bitterness. But because he released the resistance, because he practiced blessing and letting go, he opened himself to receive something even better than what he had lost. This is the law. This is the way the mind works. Resistance binds you to the past. Non-resistance frees you for the future. Apply this wisdom to every area of your financial life. If you have lost money, bless it and let it go. If someone has cheated you, forgive them and release them. If an investment has failed, accept it peacefully and look forward. Do not waste one moment of your precious mental energy on resentment, regret, or resistance. All of that energy can be used to create wealth. Do not squander it on what cannot be changed. Now let me speak to you about the role of action in wealth manifestation. Some people, upon learning about the power of the subconscious mind, make the mistake of thinking that they need do nothing at all, that they can simply sit in a chair, affirm abundance, and wait for money to fall from the sky. This is a misunderstanding of the law. Yes, the subconscious mind does the creative work. Yes, infinite intelligence arranges the circumstances. Yes, you do not need to force or struggle or strain. But you must be willing to act when action is called for. You must be willing to move when the door opens. You must be willing to take the steps that are placed before you. The Bible speaks of this as faith with works. Faith without works is dead, the scripture says. This does not mean that you must work hard in the conventional sense. It means that you must demonstrate your faith through action. When an opportunity appears, take it. When guidance comes, follow it. When you feel an impulse to call someone, write something, go somewhere, act on that impulse. It may be the very bridge of incidents that your subconscious has constructed to bring you to your good. Napoleon Hill called this going the extra mile, doing more than is required, taking action beyond what is expected, putting yourself in the flow of opportunity through active engagement with life. He found that all successful individuals shared this quality. They were not passive dreamers. They were active creators. They combined the inner work of mind with the outer work of hands and feet. But here is the key. The action that is required when you are working with the subconscious mind is not forced action. It is not anxious action. It is not action taken from fear or desperation. It is inspired action, action that flows naturally from your inner conviction, action that feels right, action that you are guided to take by the wisdom within you. When you have properly impressed your subconscious with the feeling of wealth, you will find that ideas come to you. Opportunities present themselves. You feel drawn to certain activities and away from others. This inner guidance is the subconscious mind directing you toward the fulfillment of your desire. Follow it. Trust it. Act upon it. And when you act, act with confidence. Act as though you cannot fail. Act as though the outcome is already determined in your favor. This attitude of confident expectation is itself a powerful impression upon the subconscious. It tells your deeper mind that you believe in your own success, and the subconscious responds by creating that success. I think now of a woman who wanted to start her own business but had no capital and no experience. She could have given up before she even started. She could have told herself that it was impossible, that she did not have what it took, that the odds were against her. But instead, she chose to work with her subconscious mind. Every night, she would imagine herself running a successful business. She saw happy customers. She felt the satisfaction of doing work she loved. She experienced, in her imagination, the financial abundance that her business would bring. She did this consistently, night after night, week after week. And then she began to act. She started small, doing what she could with what she had. She talked to people. She learned. She experimented. She made mistakes and learned from them. Every step of the way, she maintained her inner vision of success, even when outer circumstances were challenging. Within 5 years, she had built a thriving business that exceeded even her original dreams. She had employees, loyal customers, and a steady stream of income that gave her complete financial freedom. And she told me that the secret was the combination of inner conviction and outer action. Neither alone would have been sufficient. Together, they were unstoppable. This is the balance you must find. Hold the vision within. Feel the reality of abundance in your subconscious mind. And then, with faith and confidence, take the action that presents itself. Do not force. Do not strain. But do not sit idly waiting for miracles. Walk forward, and the path will appear beneath your feet. There is one more principle I wish to impress upon you in this portion of our time together. It is the principle of circulation. Money is a form of energy, and like all energy, it must circulate to remain healthy and alive. When you hoard money, when you clutch at it with fear, when you refuse to let it flow, you stop the circulation and create stagnation. And stagnation leads to lack. But when you allow money to circulate freely, when you spend it wisely, invest it thoughtfully, and give it generously, you keep the energy moving. You create a flow. And the universe responds to flow by sending more. This is why generous people tend to prosper while stingy people tend to struggle. It is not a moral judgment. It is simply the law of circulation in action. The generous person is in the flow. The stingy person has stepped out of the flow. Tithe. Give to causes you believe in. Support those who support you spiritually. Share your abundance with others who are in need. Not from obligation, but from joy. Not from guilt, but from love. When you give in this spirit, you open the channels for receiving. You demonstrate your faith in infinite supply. You become a channel through which the abundance of the universe can flow. And remember, you cannot outgive the universe. Whatever you give comes back to you multiplied. This is the promise of Scripture: give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, and shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. Trust this promise. Live by it. Make it the foundation of your financial life. And watch as the miracles multiply. You are standing at the threshold of a new financial reality. Everything you have heard, everything you have felt, everything you have glimpsed in these words, it is all available to you now. The power is within you. The law is ready to serve you. The infinite intelligence is waiting for your command. Whisper abundance before you check your bank account. Feel wealthy before you see the numbers. Know, with unshakable conviction, that you are a child of the infinite and that prosperity is your birthright. And the miracles will follow. They must follow. It is the law. There is a dimension of wealth manifestation that we must now explore together, and it concerns the sacred mystery of divine timing. You have learned to impress your subconscious mind with the feeling of abundance. You have learned to maintain your faith even when outer circumstances seem to contradict your inner vision. You have learned to take inspired action while releasing attachment to how your good will come. But now you must understand something equally important. You must learn to trust the timing of the infinite. The conscious mind is impatient. It wants what it wants, and it wants it now. When you plant a seed of desire in your subconscious mind, your conscious mind immediately begins watching for results. A day passes, then a week, then a month, and if the manifestation has not appeared, the conscious mind grows restless. It begins to doubt. It begins to question. It begins to dig up the seed to see if it is growing, and in doing so, it destroys the very thing it is trying to create. But the infinite intelligence that operates through your subconscious mind is not bound by your conscious timeline. It sees the larger picture. It knows not only what you want but also when the receiving of it will bring you the greatest good. It knows the circumstances that must be arranged, the people who must be moved into position, the events that must unfold before your desire can manifest in the most perfect way. When you pray for wealth, you are not simply asking for money to appear. You are asking to be moved into a state of consciousness where wealth is natural, where abundance flows easily, where prosperity is your permanent condition. And sometimes, this requires preparation. Sometimes, there are inner changes that must occur before you are truly ready to receive and hold on to the wealth you desire. I have seen people receive large sums of money before they were ready, and they lost it all within a short time. Their consciousness had not been prepared to maintain that level of wealth. They still carried the inner patterns of poverty, and those patterns eventually manifested again in their outer circumstances. The money came, but it could not stay. The infinite intelligence knows this. It knows when you are truly ready. And it times the manifestation of your desire to coincide with your readiness to receive it fully, permanently, and for your highest good. This is why you must trust the timing. When your manifestation seems delayed, do not interpret this as failure. Interpret it as preparation. The universe is getting you ready. It is arranging circumstances. It is aligning people and events. It is doing the invisible work that will ensure your manifestation is complete and lasting. The Bible speaks of this divine timing in many places. Ecclesiastes tells us, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven." There is a time for your wealth to manifest, and that time is being prepared even now. Habakkuk says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." Wait for it. It will surely come. It will not tarry beyond its appointed time. Your task is to maintain your faith during the waiting period, to keep your vision clear, to continue feeling wealthy even when the wealth has not yet appeared in physical form. I recall a businessman who came to me in a state of frustration. He had been working with the principles of the subconscious mind for over a year, affirming prosperity, visualizing success, maintaining positive expectations. And while his business had improved somewhat, the breakthrough he was seeking had not yet occurred. He wanted to know why. I asked him to tell me about his inner state. Not his affirmations, not his visualizations, but his actual feelings throughout the day. He was honest with me. He admitted that despite his morning practice, he often fell into worry during the day. He would check his accounts and feel anxious. He would read the news and feel fear about the economy. He would compare himself to more successful competitors and feel inadequate. I explained to him that his morning practice was being undermined by his daytime habits of thought. It was like planting a garden in the morning and then trampling it in the afternoon. The seeds could not take root because they were constantly being disturbed. I told him that he must become vigilant about his thoughts throughout the entire day, not just during his dedicated practice time. Every time he noticed a thought of lack or fear or inadequacy, he must immediately replace it with its opposite. He must train his mind to default to abundance rather than scarcity. This is the work that prepares you for manifestation. This is the inner transformation that the divine timing allows for. The waiting period is not empty time, it is training time. It is the time when you are learning to hold the vibration of wealth consistently, not just occasionally. The businessman took my advice. He became watchful over his thoughts. He carried index cards with affirmations in his pocket and read them whenever he felt himself slipping into old patterns. He stopped reading news that triggered fear. He stopped comparing himself to others. He focused relentlessly on his own vision, his own path, his own unfolding good. Within 6 months, the breakthrough came. A major contract that had seemed impossible suddenly materialized. New customers appeared as if from nowhere. His business doubled, then tripled. And this time, the success was stable, because he had done the inner work necessary to maintain it. The divine timing had been perfect. The delay had given him the opportunity to become the person who could handle the success he was seeking. Had the success come earlier, before he had transformed his habitual thinking, he might have lost it all. But because it came at the right time, he was ready to receive it and keep it. Trust the timing of your life. Trust the wisdom of the infinite. Your good is coming, and it is coming at exactly the right moment. Now let me speak to you about something that is deeply connected to wealth but often overlooked, the matter of healing. I do not mean only physical healing, though that is certainly included. I mean the healing of your entire consciousness, the healing of the wounds and traumas and limiting beliefs that have kept you in financial bondage. Many people carry old injuries in their subconscious minds. Perhaps you were shamed about money as a child. Perhaps you experienced financial trauma, a bankruptcy, a foreclosure, a devastating loss. Perhaps you watched your parents struggle and absorbed their fear and anxiety as your own. These experiences leave imprints on the subconscious mind, and these imprints continue to influence your financial reality long after the original events have passed. Until these wounds are healed, they will continue to sabotage your prosperity. You can affirm wealth all day long, but if deep within you there is a traumatized part that believes money leads to pain, that part will resist the manifestation of wealth. It will protect you from what it perceives as danger, even though that protection is no longer needed. The healing of these wounds requires gentleness and patience. It requires acknowledging the pain of the past without being controlled by it. It requires speaking to the wounded parts of yourself with compassion, reassuring them that it is now safe to prosper, that money is not dangerous, that abundance can be received without the pain that may have accompanied it in the past. You can do this through a simple practice. In your quiet time, when you are relaxed and receptive, speak to your subconscious mind as you would speak to a frightened child. Say, I understand that you have been hurt around money in the past. I acknowledge that pain. But I want you to know that it is safe now. It is safe to receive abundance. It is safe to prosper. We are protected by the infinite love of the universe. No harm will come to us through wealth. We can receive and enjoy prosperity freely. Repeat this message regularly, with feeling and sincerity. Over time, the wounded parts of your subconscious will begin to relax. They will begin to trust. They will begin to allow the manifestation of wealth that your conscious mind has been seeking. This is deep work. This is soul work. And it is essential for lasting prosperity. Carl Jung understood that the unconscious contains not only our personal wounds but also the potential for our healing. He spoke of a process he called individuation, the integration of all the parts of the psyche into a harmonious whole. When we heal our relationship with money, when we integrate the wounded parts that have been sabotaging our prosperity, we become more whole. We become more fully ourselves. And from this place of wholeness, abundance flows naturally. The scripture says, Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. Notice the connection between prosperity and the health of the soul. Your outer prosperity is directly connected to your inner prosperity, to the health, the wholeness, the integration of your soul. As you heal within, you prosper without. This is the law. Now I wish to speak about a technique that has proven extraordinarily powerful for many who seek to manifest wealth. It is the technique of revision, and it was taught with particular clarity by Neville Goddard. Revision is the practice of mentally rewriting past events to align with your desired outcome. You take a memory, perhaps a memory of financial failure, of rejection, of lack, and you replay it in your imagination with a different ending. You see the situation turning out the way you wished it had. You feel the feelings you would have felt if things had gone differently. You impress this revised memory upon your subconscious mind as though it were what actually happened. Now, you may ask, how can changing my memory of the past change my present circumstances? But remember what I told you about the subconscious mind, it does not distinguish clearly between what is real and what is vividly imagined. To your subconscious, a thought held with feeling is as real as any external event. When you revise a past memory, you are changing the emotional imprint it left on your subconscious. You are healing the wound. You are removing the limiting belief that was installed by the original experience. Let me give you an example. Suppose you once applied for a business loan and were rejected. That experience of rejection left an imprint on your subconscious, an imprint that said, you are not creditworthy. Banks do not trust you. You cannot get the financial support you need. Every time you think about seeking financing now, that old imprint activates, creating fear and expectation of rejection. Using revision, you would replay the memory of that loan application in your imagination. But this time, instead of being rejected, you are approved. You see the banker smiling and shaking your hand. You feel the relief and joy of receiving the funds you need. You experience the entire scene as though it actually happened this way. When you do this regularly, the emotional charge around the original rejection begins to dissolve. The limiting belief it installed begins to weaken. And your subconscious becomes open to a new possibility, the possibility of being approved, supported, and financially blessed. This technique is not about denying reality or living in fantasy. It is about recognizing that your current reality is being created by the impressions stored in your subconscious mind, and deliberately changing those impressions to create a different reality. It is about using the creative power of imagination to heal the past and open the door to a better future. Neville taught that we should practice revision every night before sleep. Review the day and identify any events that did not go as you wished. Then replay them in your imagination with the outcome you would have preferred. Over time, this practice transforms your habitual reactions, heals old wounds, and aligns your entire consciousness with success and abundance. I have seen this technique work wonders for those who apply it consistently. Financial failures become stepping stones. Rejections become redirections. Painful memories lose their power. And the subconscious mind, freed from the burden of past limitations, becomes fully available for the creation of new prosperity. Let me turn now to another aspect of wealth manifestation that is of great importance, the question of your environment. The people you associate with, the conversations you engage in, the information you consume, all of these influence your subconscious mind, for better or worse. If you spend your time with people who complain about money, who believe that the economy is bad, who see themselves as victims of circumstances, their beliefs will begin to infect your own consciousness. Even if you do not consciously agree with them, their negativity will seep into your subconscious through the sheer force of repetition. You will find yourself thinking thoughts that are not your own, feeling feelings that do not serve you, expecting outcomes that you do not want. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who believe in abundance, who take responsibility for their financial lives, who are actively creating prosperity, their consciousness will elevate your own. You will absorb their positive expectations. You will be inspired by their success. You will find your own faith strengthened by their example. Napoleon Hill emphasized this principle strongly in his work. He spoke of the mastermind, the power that is created when two or more people come together in a spirit of harmony toward a common purpose. He found that this power was one of the key factors in the success of virtually all the wealthy individuals he studied. They did not succeed alone. They surrounded themselves with others who believed in them and supported their vision. Choose your associations carefully. Seek out those who uplift and inspire you. Limit your time with those who drain and discourage you. This is not about being cold or cruel. You can love people without allowing them to poison your consciousness. But you must be vigilant. You must protect the garden of your mind from weeds that others may unwittingly try to plant. The same principle applies to the information you consume. If you spend hours watching news programs that focus on economic doom and gloom, you are programming your subconscious for fear and lack. If you read articles that tell you why financial success is impossible, why the system is rigged against you, why you should lower your expectations, you are impressing those ideas upon your deeper mind. Instead, feed your mind with material that supports your vision of abundance. Read books that teach prosperity principles. Listen to recordings that reinforce positive beliefs about money. Study the lives of those who have achieved what you want to achieve. Let your mental diet consist of that which nourishes your faith and strengthens your expectation of good. This is not about avoiding reality or living in a bubble of false positivity. It is about recognizing that your subconscious mind is always being influenced, always receiving impressions, and choosing to influence it deliberately in the direction of your desires rather than allowing it to be influenced haphazardly by whatever happens to cross your path. You are the guardian of your own consciousness. Take that responsibility seriously. Now I want to speak to you about a subject that may seem unrelated to wealth but is actually deeply connected, the subject of forgiveness. Many people carry resentments that are blocking their prosperity without even realizing it. They hold grudges against those who have wronged them. They harbor bitterness toward those who have cheated them or treated them unfairly. And this unforgiveness acts as a dam in the river of abundance, preventing the flow of good into their lives. Forgiveness is not about condoning what was done to you. It is not about saying that the wrong was acceptable. It is about releasing the poison from your own system. It is about freeing yourself from the prison of resentment so that your energy can be used for creation rather than for holding on to the past. When you hold on to unforgiveness, you are bound to the person you have not forgiven. They occupy space in your consciousness. They drain your mental and emotional energy. They keep you focused on the past instead of the future. And as long as you are focused on what was taken from you, you cannot receive what is trying to come to you. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this deeply. She wrote, "Resentment is a poison that destroys the one who holds it, not the one toward whom it is directed." She taught that forgiveness is an act of self-liberation, a practical technique for removing blocks to good. If there is anyone in your life toward whom you hold resentment, anyone who has wronged you financially, anyone who has taken what was yours, anyone who has cheated or deceived you, I urge you now to begin the work of forgiveness. Not for their sake, but for your own. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. You can begin simply. In your quiet time, bring the person to mind. See their face. And then say, either aloud or silently, "I forgive you completely. I release all resentment. I set you free, and in doing so, I set myself free. I wish you well, and I turn my attention now to my own good." You may not feel the forgiveness immediately. The feelings may take time to catch up with the words. But if you persist in this practice, day after day, the resentment will begin to dissolve. The energy that was bound up in unforgiveness will become available for creation. And the blocks to your prosperity will melt away. The Bible says, "Forgive, and ye shall be forgiven." This is not merely a moral instruction, it is a statement of law. What you give out, you receive back. When you forgive, you open yourself to be forgiven, to be released from the consequences of your own past errors. And when you are released, you are free to move forward into the abundance that awaits you. Forgive everyone. Forgive everything. Let go of the past completely. Your wealth is in the present and the future, not in what has already happened. Turn your face toward the light, and let the shadows fall behind you. Let me share with you now a truth about sleep and its relationship to manifestation. The moments before you fall asleep are among the most powerful moments of your entire day for impressing your subconscious mind. As your conscious mind relaxes and begins to fade into sleep, your subconscious mind becomes highly receptive, like soft wax ready to receive whatever imprint you give it. This is why what you think about, what you feel, what you imagine in those final moments before sleep is so important. If you fall asleep worried about money, you are giving your subconscious a command to create more situations worthy of worry. If you fall asleep rehashing the problems of the day, you are instructing your subconscious to continue those problems into tomorrow. But if you fall asleep feeling wealthy, feeling abundant, feeling grateful for the prosperity that is yours, you are giving your subconscious a powerful command to create that wealth in your experience. Your subconscious will work all night, while your conscious mind is asleep, arranging circumstances, generating ideas, preparing the way for your abundance to manifest. Use this time wisely. Do not waste it on random thoughts or residual worries. Create a practice for yourself. Every night, as you lie in bed preparing for sleep, spend a few minutes feeling wealthy. Imagine scenes that imply financial fulfillment. Feel the feelings of abundance, security, and freedom. Let these feelings be the last impressions your subconscious receives before you enter the dream state. And when you wake in the morning, before you get out of bed, before you check your phone or your bank account, spend a few moments renewing these feelings. Say to yourself, today, I am abundant. Today, money flows to me easily. Today, the infinite provides for all my needs and more. Set the tone for your day before the world has a chance to impose its own agenda upon your mind. This practice of bookending your day with prosperity consciousness, feeling wealthy as you fall asleep and feeling wealthy as you wake, will accelerate your manifestation dramatically. It ensures that your subconscious is receiving consistent impressions of abundance rather than mixed signals of wealth and lack. The subconscious mind responds to consistency. It responds to repetition. It responds to feeling. When you give it the same message over and over, with sincere feeling, it accepts that message as the truth and goes to work to make it so. Now I wish to address the fear of wealth that some people carry, often without conscious awareness. It may seem strange that anyone would fear prosperity, but this fear is more common than you might think. Some fear that wealth will change them, make them greedy or corrupt. Some fear that others will envy them, resent them, or try to take what they have. Some fear the responsibility that comes with abundance. Some fear that they will lose their spirituality if they become materially successful. These fears are often lodged deep in the subconscious mind, where they work silently to prevent the manifestation of wealth. They are like invisible walls that stop abundance at the door, keeping it from entering your life even when it is trying to come in. If you recognize any of these fears in yourself, you must address them directly. You must speak to your subconscious mind and reassure it that wealth is safe, that prosperity is compatible with spirituality, that you can be rich and good, abundant and generous, successful and humble. The truth is that money simply amplifies what you already are. If you are a generous person, wealth gives you more to be generous with. If you are a kind person, wealth gives you more ways to express that kindness. If you are spiritually minded, wealth gives you the freedom to devote more time and energy to your spiritual practice and to supporting spiritual work in the world. Money is not evil. Poverty is not holy. These are false ideas that have kept many good people in unnecessary lack. The infinite wants you to prosper. Your prosperity is part of the divine plan for your life. Embrace it without guilt. Receive it without fear. Use it for good, and it will bless you and everyone your life touches. Say to yourself now, with feeling, it is safe for me to be wealthy. I embrace prosperity without guilt or fear. I use my abundance to bless myself and others. Money flows to me easily, and I receive it gratefully. Let these words sink deep into your subconscious. Let them dissolve the invisible barriers that may have been blocking your good. Let them open the door wide for the wealth that is seeking you even now. You are at a turning point in your life. Everything you have learned, everything you have felt, everything you have understood in the depth of your being, it is all preparing you for a new level of prosperity. The seeds have been planted. The ground has been watered. The sun is shining upon your garden of abundance. Now, trust. Trust the law. Trust the process. Trust the divine timing. Trust the infinite power within you that knows exactly how to bring your wealth into manifestation. You have done your part. Continue to do your part each day, whispering abundance before you check your bank account, feeling wealthy before you see the numbers, maintaining your faith regardless of appearances. And know, with absolute certainty, that your wealth is on its way. It cannot fail to come, for it is law. The infinite never fails. The subconscious always delivers what has been genuinely impressed upon it. And you have impressed wealth. You have impressed abundance. You have impressed prosperity. Now rest in that knowing. Rest in the peace that comes from understanding how the universe works. Rest in the confidence of one who knows that their good is assured. The miracles are unfolding even now. Can you feel them? They are closer than you think. They are nearer than your next breath. They are waiting, just beyond the veil of the visible, ready to burst into your experience in ways that will astonish you, delight you, and confirm forever that the power within you is infinitely greater than any circumstance you will ever face. Believe this. Know this. Live this. And watch as your entire financial life transforms before your very eyes. We have come now to the final portion of our journey together, and I want you to understand the profound significance of this moment. You are not the same person you were when we began. Something has shifted within you. Seeds have been planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind that will continue to grow and flourish long after these words have ended. The truths you have received are now working within you, rearranging your mental patterns, dissolving your limitations, opening channels for abundance that have been closed for years, perhaps for your entire life. But before we part, there are still essential truths I must share with you, truths that will seal your understanding and ensure that the transformation you have begun will become permanent. These are the ultimate principles of wealth consciousness, the deepest secrets of manifestation, the eternal promises of the infinite mind. Receive them now with an open heart, and let them complete the work that has already begun within you. The first truth I must impress upon you is this: you are not separate from the source of all wealth. This may sound like a spiritual platitude, but I want you to understand it at the deepest level. The infinite intelligence that created the universe, the same intelligence that spins the galaxies, that grows the forests, that beats your heart without any conscious effort on your part, this intelligence is not outside of you. It is within you. It is the very essence of your being. And this intelligence is infinitely abundant. When you truly realize this, not just intellectually, but in the depths of your subconscious feeling, the question of wealth becomes transformed. You are no longer a beggar asking for crumbs from a distant god. You are an heir claiming your inheritance. You are a child of the infinite recognizing your birthright. You are a wave realizing that it has never been separate from the ocean. The Bible expresses this truth when it says, "The kingdom of God is within you." Not far away. Not in the future. Not earned through struggle and sacrifice. Within you, right now, already present, waiting only to be recognized and claimed. And within that kingdom is every form of abundance you could ever desire, not as a possibility, but as a present reality waiting to be expressed. When you whisper abundance before checking your bank account, you are not trying to create something that does not exist. You are aligning yourself with what already exists in the realm of spirit, in the infinite storehouse of the divine mind. You are opening the door between the invisible and the visible, allowing the wealth that is already yours in consciousness to flow into your physical experience. This is the secret that all the great teachers have understood. This is the truth behind every successful manifestation. You are not creating wealth, you are revealing it. You are not attracting abundance from outside yourself, you are expressing the abundance that is your true nature. The work is not to get something you lack, but to remove the mental barriers that have been preventing you from experiencing what you already have. And what are these barriers? They are the false beliefs, the fear thoughts, the feelings of unworthiness, the old programming of lack and limitation. These barriers are not solid walls, they are shadows. They are illusions. They have no power except the power you give them through your belief. And when you withdraw your belief, when you recognize them for the nothingness they truly are, they dissolve like mist before the morning sun. This is why the inner work is so important. This is why I have emphasized again and again the need to change your habitual thoughts and feelings about money. You are not fighting against external enemies. You are dissolving internal illusions. And as those illusions dissolve, the abundance that has always been yours becomes visible, tangible, real in your experience. I think of a man who came to me many years ago in a state of complete financial despair. He had lost everything, his business, his home, his savings. He was living in a small rented room, eating one meal a day, unable to see any way forward. From the perspective of the outer world, he was a failure, a cautionary tale, a man whose life had come to ruin. But I saw something different when I looked at him. I saw a divine being, a child of the infinite, a man whose true nature was abundance itself. I saw that his poverty was not his identity, it was a temporary condition created by his thinking. And I knew that if he could change his thinking, his condition would change as well. I taught him everything I have taught you. I told him about the power of the subconscious mind. I explained the law of belief. I showed him how to impress abundance upon his deeper mind through affirmation, visualization, and feeling. I helped him see that his current circumstances, no matter how dire, were simply the outpicturing of past thinking and could be changed by present thinking. He took my words to heart. Despite his circumstances, he began to practice. Every morning, he would affirm, "I am one with the infinite source of all wealth. Abundance flows to me now from expected and unexpected channels. I am prosperous in all that I do." He would feel these words as true, even when the evidence of his senses contradicted them. He would hold the vision of himself as successful, even when failure seemed to be his only reality. The transformation did not happen overnight. For weeks, he saw no outer change. His circumstances remained the same. But something was shifting within him. He felt different. He carried himself differently. He began to have ideas he had never had before. He began to see opportunities he had previously overlooked. And then, one day, everything began to change. He reconnected with an old acquaintance who offered him a position in a new venture. The position seemed modest at first, but it aligned perfectly with his skills and experience. He threw himself into the work with all his heart, bringing to it the new consciousness of abundance he had developed. Within a year, he was a partner in the company. Within 3 years, he had accumulated more wealth than he had ever possessed in his life. Within 5 years, he was a millionaire, not through inheritance, not through luck, not through any external circumstance beyond his control, but through the systematic application of the laws of mind. When I saw him again after those 5 years, he was a transformed man. Not just financially, but in every way. He radiated confidence, peace, and gratitude. He told me, "Dr. Murphy, I lost everything I had, but I found something infinitely more valuable. I found the truth. I found the power within me. And now I know that no matter what happens in the outer world, I can never truly be poor again, because I understand how wealth is created." This is the ultimate freedom, not just the possession of money, but the knowledge of how to create it. When you understand the laws of the subconscious mind, when you know how to impress abundance upon your deeper consciousness, you become independent of external conditions. You are no longer a victim of the economy, of circumstances, of what others do or fail to do. You are a creator, a master of your own destiny, a conscious cooperator with the infinite intelligence that governs all things. Let me speak now about the role of love in wealth manifestation. This may seem like an unusual topic in a discussion of money, but I assure you, love is at the very heart of true prosperity. When you love what you do, when you love the people you serve, when you love the process of creating value, money flows to you effortlessly. But when you work only for money, when you resent your labor, when you see your customers or clients as obstacles rather than opportunities to serve, the flow of money is restricted. Love is the great lubricant of abundance. It opens doors that remain closed to mere effort. It attracts people and opportunities that money alone cannot buy. It transforms work from drudgery into joy, from obligation into privilege. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this deeply. She wrote, "Do your work with love, and success will be yours." She knew that the vibration of love is the highest vibration there is, and that when we bring love to our financial activities, we align ourselves with the highest expression of the infinite. Consider what it means to love your work. It means to find joy in the doing of it, regardless of the external rewards. It means to care about the quality of what you produce, the impact it has on others, the value it brings to the world. It means to show up each day with enthusiasm and gratitude, eager to give your best, eager to serve, eager to contribute. When you work in this spirit, money is a natural byproduct. You do not have to chase it or grasp at it. It comes to you because you are creating real value, because people want what you offer, because the universe rewards those who give generously of their gifts. And consider what it means to love those you serve. To see your customers not as sources of revenue but as human beings with needs and desires that you have the privilege of meeting. To approach every interaction with genuine care for their well-being. To go beyond the minimum required and seek to truly help, truly bless, truly make a difference in their lives. When you serve in this spirit, loyalty is built. Referrals come naturally. Your reputation grows. And with your reputation, your prosperity. Love is not separate from wealth. Love is the foundation of wealth. It is the energy that magnetizes abundance to you. It is the secret ingredient that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Now I must speak to you about stewardship. As you manifest greater wealth, as abundance flows into your life in increasing measure, you must understand that you are not merely a consumer of this wealth, you are its steward. The money that comes to you is not only for your own benefit. It is a trust, a responsibility, a sacred charge. The universe gives abundantly to those who use abundance well. When you receive money and use it wisely, to provide for yourself and your family, to support causes you believe in, to help those in need, to create more value in the world, you demonstrate that you can be trusted with more. You become a reliable channel through which the infinite can work. And as your reliability increases, the flow of abundance through you increases as well. But if you receive money and squander it, if you use it only for selfish purposes, if you hoard it from fear or spend it recklessly without thought for the future, you demonstrate that you cannot yet be trusted with more. Not as a punishment, but as a natural consequence of your relationship with the energy of money. The flow will be restricted until you learn to handle it wisely. This is why financial wisdom is an important part of spiritual prosperity. Learning to budget, to save, to invest, to give, these are not merely practical skills. They are spiritual practices that develop your capacity to steward abundance well. They prepare you to receive more by demonstrating that you can handle what you already have. The parable of the talents in the Bible speaks directly to this principle. To the servant who invested his talents wisely and increased them, the master said, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things, I will make thee ruler over many things." But from the servant who buried his talent in the earth, hiding it from fear, even what he had was taken away. This is not a story about God punishing those who fail to make money. It is a story about the law of consciousness. When you use what you have wisely and abundantly, more is given. When you contract around what you have, fearing to use it, to invest it, to circulate it, the contraction manifests as loss. Be a wise steward. Handle your money with respect and intention. Pay your bills with gratitude, knowing that you have the means to pay them. Save for the future with confidence, knowing that you are preparing for the expansion that is coming. Give generously with joy, knowing that you are participating in the great circulation of abundance that enriches all of life. And as you develop your capacity for stewardship, watch how the universe responds. Watch how doors open, opportunities multiply, and abundance flows to you in ever-increasing measure. This is the reward of faithful stewardship, not because God is keeping score, but because you are becoming a bigger and more trustworthy vessel for the flow of infinite good. Let me now address the question of persistence, for it is essential to everything we have discussed. The principles I have shared with you they work absolutely and without exception. But they require persistence. They require that you continue to apply them even when results are not immediately visible. They require that you maintain your faith through the periods of apparent delay. They require that you persist until the manifestation appears. Many people begin the practice of impressing wealth upon the subconscious mind, but they give up too soon. They try for a few days, a few weeks, perhaps a few months. And when the dramatic manifestation they were hoping for does not appear, they conclude that the principles do not work, or that they do not work for them, or that they must be doing something wrong. But I tell you, the principles always work. They are working even when you cannot see the evidence. They are building in the invisible realm even when the visible realm seems unchanged. And if you persist, if you continue to affirm, to visualize, to feel, to believe, the manifestation must come. It cannot fail to come. It is law. Neville Goddard said, "Persist in the assumption that your wish is already fulfilled, and your wish will harden into fact." The word persist is crucial. It is not enough to assume briefly. It is not enough to feel wealthy for a moment and then return to feelings of lack. You must persist in the assumption. You must maintain the feeling. You must hold the vision until it becomes reality. How long must you persist? As long as it takes. There is no standard timeline for manifestation. Some things manifest quickly, within days or weeks. Others take months or years. The timing depends on many factors: the depth of your conviction, the strength of any contrary beliefs, the complexity of the circumstances that must be arranged. But know this, if you persist, you will succeed. It is mathematically certain. The subconscious mind always delivers what has been genuinely impressed upon it. If your impression is deep enough, consistent enough, feeling saturated enough, manifestation is inevitable. It is only a matter of time. So do not give up. Do not lose heart. Do not interpret delay as denial. Keep doing the inner work. Keep whispering abundance before you check your bank account. Keep feeling wealthy even when outer appearances suggest otherwise. Your persistence is itself a demonstration of faith, and faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The very fact that you are still listening to these words, that you have stayed with me through this entire journey, is proof of your readiness. Many have fallen away. Many have given up. But you are still here. You are still seeking. You are still open to receiving. And this tells me that you have what it takes to persist until your manifestation appears. Now, as we approach the end of our time together, I want to leave you with what I consider the most important truth of all. It is this: your consciousness is your only reality. Everything else, your bank balance, your possessions, your circumstances, your relationships, all of these are reflections of your consciousness. They are the outpicturing of what you believe, what you feel, what you accept as true in the depths of your mind. This means that if you want to change anything in your life, you must change your consciousness first. Not your circumstances, your consciousness. Not your conditions, your beliefs. Not your environment, your inner state. When you change within, the without changes to match. It cannot do otherwise. It is the law of reflection, and it operates as certainly as any law of physics. This is both the great challenge and the great opportunity of your life. The challenge is that you cannot escape responsibility. You cannot blame others for your circumstances. You cannot wait for the world to change before you change. The inner world must change first, and that is entirely up to you. But the opportunity is equally profound. It means that you have complete power over your destiny. It means that no external condition can permanently limit you. It means that no matter what has happened in the past, no matter how difficult your current circumstances, you can begin right now to create a new reality by creating a new consciousness. Napoleon Hill called this the master key to riches. He understood that all lasting wealth begins in the mind, and that those who master their minds master their destinies. He saw that the great achievers were not necessarily more talented, more educated, or more fortunate than others. They were simply more conscious. They had developed the ability to think in terms of abundance, to expect success, to maintain positive mental attitudes in the face of challenge. You have this ability too. You have always had it. It is not something you need to acquire, it is something you need to recognize and develop. The power is already within you. It is the same power that beats your heart, that grows your hair, that heals your cuts and bruises without any conscious direction. It is the infinite intelligence that operates through you as your subconscious mind. And it is ready, right now, to create any reality you consistently impress upon it. That I want you to take a moment now to feel the magnitude of what I am saying. Within you is a power that can solve any problem, overcome any obstacle, create any amount of wealth. Within you is a direct connection to the infinite source of all abundance. Within you is everything you need to live a life of prosperity, fulfillment, and joy. You are not a helpless creature adrift in a hostile universe. You are a powerful being, endowed with creative capacities that most people never even begin to utilize. You are made in the image and likeness of the infinite, and you have inherited the creative powers of the infinite. What you believe, you experience. What you expect, you receive. What you consistently feel, you become. This is the truth of your being. This is the reality behind all appearances. This is the secret that has been hidden in plain sight throughout all of human history. And now you know it. You have heard it. You have felt it resonate in the depths of your soul. You can never unknow it. From this moment forward, you are responsible for what you do with this knowledge. You can apply it and transform your life. Or you can ignore it and continue in your old patterns. The choice is yours, and the consequences of that choice are yours as well. I urge you to choose transformation. I urge you to apply what you have learned. I urge you to begin today, this very hour, this very moment. Do not wait for a more convenient time. Do not wait until you feel ready. The time is now. The moment is now. Your wealth is waiting for you to claim it. And as you go forward from here, remember that you do not go alone. The infinite intelligence that has guided you to these truths continues to guide you. The power that has awakened within you continues to work on your behalf. You are surrounded by an abundance that is seeking expression through you. You are supported by a universe that wants you to succeed. Trust this. Rely on this. Rest in this. And watch as miracles unfold in your life. Miracles of wealth, miracles of healing, miracles of love, miracles of joy. They are coming. They are already on their way. They are seeking you even as you seek them. Before you check your bank account tomorrow morning, pause. Take a breath. And whisper to yourself, I am one with infinite abundance. Wealth flows to me now. I am prosperous, I am blessed, I am rich beyond measure. Feel these words. Believe these words. Know these words to be the truth of your being. And then check your balance, whatever it may be, with the calm confidence of one who knows that outer appearances are temporary, that change is constant, that the wealth you have claimed in consciousness must manifest in experience. This is your path. This is your practice. This is your destiny. Walk it with courage. Walk it with faith. Walk it with the unshakable knowing that the power within you is infinitely greater than any circumstance you will ever face. You are a child of the infinite. You are an heir to unlimited abundance. You are a conscious creator of your own reality. Nothing can stand against you when you are aligned with the truth of your being. Go now, and prosper. Go now, and create. Go now, and receive the wealth that has always been yours. The kingdom of heaven is within you. The riches of the infinite are yours to claim. The miracles you have been waiting for are waiting for you. They begin with a whisper. They begin with a feeling. They begin with a choice. Make that choice now. And let the miracles follow. For they will follow. They must follow. It is the law. And the law never fails.